What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Welcome to the RNEWS morning show. And let's just jump into it. From r/news. NY Times, Trump paid $750 in U.S. income taxes in 2016-2017. I paid more in taxes than him and I don't even make enough to live without a roommate. Great tax system we have, am I right? It does what it's designed to do. Boots stomping on human faces forever. The only years that anybody's ever seen were a couple of years when he had to turn them over to state authorities when he was trying to get a casino license. And they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. Clinton, that makes me smart. Trump edit. Frick Trump. Proud disdain for civic responsibility isn't an admirable trait in a politician. He's so smart. In 2016 he paid 170x more to silence someone he had sex with than he paid in taxes. Work then and it'll work now. Way to attack is show how horrible he is at business. I dunno. It's kinda hard to make the argument that you can trust Trump to keep the military well funded and America safe. And yet he's also under investigation by the IRS for trying to dodge $72.9 million in taxes. Taxes that would have in part funded the US military. It's extremely easy. Actually, allow me to post the general response you'd get from conservatives. Fake news. This really should piss off American voters, but I already can see the excuses lined up for him. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics. Dwayne Johnson endorses presidential candidate for first time, supports Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Trump is a jabroni confirmed. You keep using this word, jabroni, and it's awesome, to quote Charlie Kelly, who definitely did not mean jabroni as a compliment. Take my ballot, shine it up real nice, turn that some word sideways, and stick it straight up Trump's candy butt. Man, I wish The Rock had run against Trump, not Dwayne Johnson, I mean his wrestling persona. To watch him on the debate stage, tell Trump to know your role and shut your damn mouth, call him a candius, and end the whole thing with a rock bottom through the podium and the people's elbow. Would have been wicked. Stop. I can only get so hard. Rock hard. Till even a rock would vote for Biden. Bring out the mineral vote. S. Feldspar endorses Biden. Nice. I guess you don't understand economics, says an Instagram commenter defending the current president. A man who racked up historic deficits before he mismanaged a pandemic and subsequently presided over the worst quarterly GDP decline of all time. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Schools in England told not to use anti-capitalist material in teaching. Honestly, at least in America, if you were to tell the average person China is state capitalist, they would say you are wrong. I find that most people in general seem incapable of understanding what capitalism, socialism, and communism are. It's amazing, but here on Reddit, people against any of those systems seem to misunderstand what they even are in the first place. I've had people pick fights with me for just defining capitalism, not even making a value judgment, just defining it, and linking to online dictionaries. It's not when you buy and sell stuff. It's an economic system revolving around private ownership of capital assets for the purpose of generating a profit for the property owner. England has imposed colonial rule over itself. It's been lumped in with extremism and terrorism for some reason. This was my favorite. Opposition to freedom of speech. The use of racist, including anti-Semitic, language. You were banned from saying, I don't like free speech, and also hate speech. There's nothing contradictory telling schools not to use racist teaching material but also telling them to promote free speech. There is nothing ironic about both having freedom of speech and not hate speech unless you are 12. You want your freedom of speech to disappear. Tolerate people who oppose free speech. It's the paradox of tolerance. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Former Trump campaign manager, Brad Parscale, armed, barricades self in Fort Lauderdale home. Police call. Man, if Donnie really wanted Hillary to go to prison, he should have hired her. It's a good thing it's too late for coffee, or I'd have coffee all over my keyboard. It's never too late for coffee. What's the point of sleep when it's always a waking nightmare? Just when you thought the day couldn't get any weirder. Don't worry, it's only freaking Sunday night. The week will get worse. Brother, I don't think we've had a single freaking week where we didn't have absurd stories and headlines coming out of the White House. Since 2016, I would have had whiplash. But I'm just perpetually twirling towards the next story. That's the strategy. Constantly keep the public narrative off balance by the newest outrageous scandal and they'll lose track of the last, and any presumption of credibility can be attributed to histrionics. OGD, it isn't even Monday. I feel like it hasn't been Monday since February. It has always been Tuesday. I could never get the hang of Tuesdays. Columbine was Tuesday. 9/11 was Tuesday. Tuesday has 7 letters, which is 2 less than 9, which is 2 less than 11. Inside job confirmed. Trump hasn't tweeted in 5 hours. That's an eternity for him. I think some frickery is afoot. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. If coronavirus doesn't kill us, climate change will. A world leaders warn of environmental Armageddon. World leaders ain't warning us about crap. We already know. World leaders need to stop talking and start doing, like yesterday. World leaders are just concerned about pointing the finger at other world leaders though. In the end they can all point at the man in the mirror. If anyone in this thread had actually read the article, they'd know that the leaders in question were from places like the Pacific Islands and Sub-Saharan Africa, places which would be devastated by or cease to exist because of climate change. They're asking the bigger countries to act because their own might not exist soon. They have every right to do that. Get off your soapboxes. Exactly this. Just China, US, India and Russia make up 55% of CO2 emissions. The worst polluting 20 countries make up 79% of the emissions, while the remaining 175 countries only contribute 21%. So these countries being most affected by climate change while barely producing any emissions have every right to call out these super nations, teeming with wealth while dragging the rest of the world to ****** creek. World leaders warn us, B-word. You are the one in charge. You are supposed to fricking do something about it. This is why no one showed up to Stephen Hawking's time travel party. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. Boris Johnson is reported to have offered jobs at the head of 2 of Britain's most important media organisations to 2 outspoken critics of the BBC. The provocative choice of 2 such hardline anti-BBC voices has prompted anger and dismay across the broadcasting and entertainment industry. Happening with the ABC in Australia as well. It's become a standard part of the Conservative playbook to dismantle public broadcasters from their inside. It makes sense for them to do so. Private media is easily swayed by fanning them with money, whereas public broadcasters are there to do the job of reporting. Pretty much all serious journalism in Australia is done by the ABC and affiliates. There are a few fringe cases in print media, but the Baron's share of it belongs to the public purse. When you're involved in a government that's engaging in corruption regularly, it doesn't help to fund the people. They'll find out what you're doing. That doesn't just go for the LNP in Australia. By the way, the ALT may make noise about how bad it is to cut the ABC, but they won't go to war over it. They're just as deep in corruption. The only thing saving the ABC and BBC are the public. But the public are easily swayed by bullcrap from the tabloid press. It's just a matter of time until public broadcasters die a death of 1,000 cuts. It seems only Western countries like to do this, though. China loves its public broadcasters. But that parallel may not be particularly helpful. Guess all that government ass-kissing didn't help the BBC then, eh? Who would have thought? The butt-kissing is a symptom of the damage already done. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like. And if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show and I'll see you tomorrow.